You're in the middle of your day. Your to-do list is long. Your phone keeps buzzing. Your thoughts are all over the place. And suddenly, it's like your brain shuts down. Not because you're tired, but as if someone pulled a heavy curtain over your mind. Thoughts slip away. You can't recall names. You stare at a sentence, but it just doesn't make sense. It feels like your brain is wrapped in cotton. And you ask yourself, what's going on with me? So many people know this feeling, but hardly anyone talks about it. You can't measure it, you can't see it, but it changes everything. Everyday tasks become challenges. Decisions take longer. You forget things that used to come naturally. You keep going, but you're not really present. Welcome to a state called brain fog. It might sound harmless, but it can take over your life. It means your thinking is clouded, not just now and then, but constantly. Not just under stress, but even when you've had rest. And that's what makes it so unsettling. You know you could think clearly, but something holds you back. It's like your brain is throttled, like an internet connection stuck on dial-up speed. To the outside world, you seem fine. You show up for work, take care of your family, do what's expected. But inside, there's a silent struggle, a fog that slows you down, that wears you out, that makes you doubt yourself. Am I just burned out, or is something else going on? And that's the key. Most people blame brain fog on stress, overwork, or just getting older. But what if it's more than that? What if your body is trying to tell you something? In this video, you'll learn what might really be behind brain fog, why it's often overlooked, and what you can do to regain your mental clarity. Because one thing's for sure, you're not alone, and you can take action. Jana is 37. She has 2 kids, a part-time job, a house, a garden. From the outside, everything seems fine. And yet, her daily life feels like a marathon, with no finish line. Every morning is a struggle to get out of bed, not because she stayed up late, but even after a full 8 hours of sleep. At breakfast, she can't remember whether she packed the kids' lunches. At work, she finds it hard to focus. Client meetings? No problem in the past. Now her mind keeps drifting. One day, she tells a friend, "I just don't feel like myself anymore. It's like my brain is wrapped in fog. I'm going through the motions, but I'm not really there." She starts Googling. Iron deficiency, thyroid issues, burnout. Her doctor runs some blood tests. Everything looks normal. "Probably just stress," he says. So Jana tries to push through. She sleeps more, cuts back on screen time. But the fog remains. Some days it's light, other days it's so thick, she barely recognizes herself. Then new symptoms appear. Forgetfulness, mood swings, sudden fatigue after eating. She starts asking herself, what's wrong with me? But no one finds anything. The diagnoses she gets are vague, fatigue, autonomic imbalance. She doesn't feel heard. And slowly, she begins to doubt herself, her body, her own perception. Until one day, she listens to an interview about brain fog, and suddenly, everything clicks. She's not alone. She's not imagining things. And she's not failing. It's a signal. Her body is trying to tell her something. And that's the moment everything begins to change. Brain fog. It sounds almost harmless, like a cute nickname for a little mental hiccup. But for people who truly experience it, there's nothing harmless about it. Brain fog means your thinking slows down. Your focus slips away. Your thoughts feel wrapped in fog, blurry, scattered, hard to hold on to. You want to concentrate, but you just can't. It's not like a classic symptom, like a cough or a fever. It's more like a state of being, a condition that seeps into your daily life, and seriously impacts how your brain works. You read something, and have to read the same sentence 3 times. You're mid-conversation and forget what you were about to say. You feel tired, even after a full night's sleep. You feel drained, even if you haven't done much. And sometimes you feel irritable, without knowing why. Brain fog isn't just being a little distracted. It's like your brain is running on low power mode, but you don't know what triggered it, and no one seems to tell you what's really going on. That's what makes brain fog so tricky. It doesn't show up in a blood test. You can't detect it on a lab strip, and because of that, many doctors don't take it seriously, even though it can turn someone's life upside down. People who experience brain fog often say it's hard to describe. There's a lack of sharpness, of clarity, of that usual mental alertness. It feels like a disconnect from your own thoughts, from the world around you, and sometimes even from yourself. But brain fog is not in your head. It's not imagined. It's a signal dash, a message that something in your body is out of balance. And that signal deserves to be heard. Brain fog doesn't just happen by chance. Even if no one has given you a clear diagnosis, there's almost always an underlying reason, sometimes several. And that's the first step toward healing. Understanding what's really going wrong inside your body. In many cases, it's not just one cause, but a combination of factors that overlap and intensify each other. What medicine calls a multifactorial process. Let's take a closer look at the most common root causes. First, nutrient deficiencies, when your brain runs out of fuel. Your brain is one of the most energy-demanding organs in your body. To stay sharp and focused, it needs a steady supply of key micronutrients. A deficiency in vitamin B12, vitamin D, magnesium, iron, or omega-3 fatty acids can seriously impact your mental clarity. B vitamins support nerve conduction. Iron helps carry oxygen. Magnesium is critical for nerve signaling. When these are missing, your brain runs in survival mode, slow, foggy, inefficient. Second, hormonal imbalances. Many women first notice brain fog during hormonal shifts. Before their period, during pregnancy, or in perimenopause. But men aren't immune. Low testosterone, adrenal fatigue, or thyroid dysfunction can also slow down mental performance. When your hormones are off, so is your focus. Third, chronic inflammation, the silent fire in your body. Inflammation doesn't always cause pain, but it can silently wear down your system, including your brain. Stress, poor diet, lack of sleep, or exposure to toxins can trigger a low-grade, long-term inflammatory response. Neuroinflammation, when the brain itself is inflamed, can disrupt communication between brain cells and lead to confusion, forgetfulness, and mental fatigue. Fourth, toxic load, especially from heavy metals. Now here's where it gets really interesting, and where many people and even doctors miss the mark. Heavy metals like mercury, lead, cadmium, and aluminum can severely disrupt the central nervous system. Mercury, once widely used in dental fillings, can accumulate in the brain where it damages mitochondria, disrupts enzymes, and promotes inflammation. This leads to energy loss, poor concentration, and emotional instability. Aluminum, from deodorants, vaccines, or food packaging, is suspected to cross the blood-brain barrier and interfere with signaling. Lead, once common in paints and gasoline, can remain in the body for decades, quietly impairing cognitive function. Here's the real problem. Your body doesn't easily get rid of these toxins. They don't just flush out, they build up over time. In your organs, nervous tissue, and brain. And most standard blood tests won't detect them. It often takes a special test, a provoked urine test using chelating agents. to reveal what's actually stored deep in your tissues. But here's the catch. These tests are rarely done, even though they can be crucial. The bottom line, brain fog has many faces and many causes. Sometimes it's your diet, sometimes it's your hormones. But often, it's the silent toxins you've carried for years without knowing it. If you want answers, you have to look deeper. Maybe this sounds familiar. You're feeling exhausted, unfocused, stuck in that mental fog, so you go to your doctor. They run some blood tests, and then you hear, everything looks fine. But what if things aren't fine? They're just not showing up. Standard blood panels are useful for spotting obvious issues. They're great for diagnosing full-blown illnesses. But they're not designed to catch subtle, functional imbalances. And with brain fog, the root cause is often hiding beneath the surface. Take vitamin B12, for example. Your results may fall within the normal range. But does that mean your brain is truly getting what it needs? Many labs use wide reference ranges. So just because you're not deficient on paper doesn't mean your levels are optimal for you. And here's another problem. Heavy metals like mercury and lead, they don't float around in your blood long enough to show up on standard labs. They hide in your tissues, especially the brain. To uncover them, you need targeted testing, like a provoked challenge test using chelating agents, which pulls hidden toxins out of storage so they can finally be detected. Even brain inflammation, what doctors call neuroinflammation, can be hard to measure with routine markers. It takes clinical experience and often functional lab medicine to connect the dots. So here's the truth. If you feel unwell, but your labs are normal, that doesn't mean you're healthy. It just means no one has looked in the right place yet. Trust your instincts. If something feels off, keep digging. There are ways to find real answers. When you're stuck in the fog, there's one thing you want most: a way out. And yes, there are steps you can take. Some are simple, others need a little guidance. But every small step brings you closer to clarity. Let's start. First, check your nutrients and refill what's missing. Even if your blood work came back normal, it's worth digging deeper. Have a professional check your levels of B vitamins, vitamin D, iron, magnesium, zinc, and omega-3 fatty acids. Look for someone who understands functional lab work. This is often where the first clues show up, especially if you struggle with focus, energy, or irritability. Second, heal your gut and support your microbiome. Most people underestimate how much gut health affects brain health. But your brain and gut are in constant communication through what's called the gut-brain axis, a sensitive two-way system. If your microbiome, your gut bacteria, is out of balance, it can absolutely make brain fog worse. Bloating, food sensitivities, frequent colds, or feeling sleepy after meals are all red flags. Also think about hidden gut inflammation, low-grade infections, or a leaky gut, where the intestinal lining becomes too porous. A healthy gut means less inflammation, better nutrient absorption, and a clearer mind. Third, gentle detox. Don't go it alone. Your body may be overloaded with toxins, from pesticides, mold, or heavy metals. But don't jump into detox on your own. Work with someone trained in this area. A safe starting point. Drink plenty of water, support your liver, eat fiber-rich foods and lots of fresh vegetables. And this is key. Make sure your gut is stable first. If not, you may just shift toxins around instead of clearing them out. Fourth, reduce stress, the overlooked factor. Chronic stress drains your nutrients, disrupts your sleep, and makes your brain more sensitive to overwhelm. No need to force yourself to meditate if it's not your thing. Just find something that calms your system. A walk in nature, gentle movement, music, deep breathing. Even 10 minutes a day can make a difference. Fifth, protect your sleep. It's brain repair time. Good sleep isn't optional. It's essential. Stick to a consistent schedule. Keep your room dark and quiet. No screens right before bed. During deep sleep, your brain clears out waste through what's called the glymphatic system, and it works best at night when you're fully at rest. Feeling overwhelmed? That's okay. You don't need to fix everything at once. Just pick the step that feels easiest right now. And take it. Every step is like a beam of light cutting through the fog. Brain fog usually isn't caused by one big thing. It's the result of many small imbalances that build up over time. And that's exactly how the solution works too. Not with a quick fix, but with smart, everyday habits that help bring your body and mind back into balance. Because your goal isn't just to function again. Your goal is to feel clear, focused, and fully alive. Let's start with the most important piece: your sleep. If you're not sleeping well, you simply can't think clearly, no matter what else you do. Stick to a consistent sleep schedule. Keep your bedroom dark and quiet. Avoid screens before bed. And remember, during deep sleep, your brain activates something called the glymphatic system, a built-in cleaning system that clears out waste and toxins. Think of it as a nighttime rinse cycle for your brain. If it doesn't run, the mess piles up, and you feel it. Next, build mental clarity into your daily routine. Create structure in your day. Take short breaks, not to be more productive, but to give your nervous system space to breathe. Fresh air, gentle movement. Fewer tabs open in your brain. Your mind loves rhythm, repetition, and rest. Give it that. Nutrition, not perfect, just nourishing. Eat colorful, real food. Reduce sugar and processed products. They fuel silent inflammation. Focus on healthy fats, quality protein, and lots of fiber. Fiber feeds your gut microbiome, and that directly affects your mental sharpness. Learn to spot stress before it runs the show. Chronic stress is one of the most common triggers of brain fog. Learn to catch the early signs: irritability, racing thoughts, sleep trouble. Find tools that fit your life: mindfulness, movement, creativity, real human connection. Get regular checkups, done right. Find a provider who looks beyond standard lab work. Someone who will check your nutrient levels, consider your gut health and hormones, and guide you through safe detox support if needed. Brain fog rarely disappears overnight, but with the right guidance, clear steps, and a little patience, you can come back to the real you. Or maybe even a stronger version. You've made it this far. Then you already know brain fog isn't just in your head. It's a signal, a sign that your body, your mind, your entire inner balance needs attention. And even if it sometimes feels overwhelming, you're not alone. So many people are dealing with the exact same symptoms, quietly, invisibly, without answers. But here's the truth: you are not powerless. You can pause. You can listen. You can take action, one step at a time. Maybe today it's something simple: a better night's sleep, a nourishing meal, that lab test you've been putting off. Whatever it is, it matters. I wish you clarity, strength, and the confidence to trust your path. If this video gave you insight or hope, I'd love to hear from you in the comments. And I hope you'll join me for the next topic, because Doc Conny explains what really matters for your health.